terms of moving away from the run game and moving back into the run game and trying to figure out how they actually want to use the offense and how to attack different teams in different ways. I don't trust the running game at all until I actually see. And by then, honestly, it would be too late for me to try to get any of them anyways. To get Williams or McCoy. So I'm staying away from the situation.
So if you have McCoy on your roster, do you get rid of him and find somebody else?
It's hard to get rid of a top 25 running back.
Right.
Which I believe McCoy is number 25 in half point PPR. But I would look to see is there some up and comers you could possibly pick up that would be maybe available on the waiver wire that are stepping into bigger roles. I mean, at this point right now, I would almost rather have Jamal Williams of Green Bay than LaShawn McCoy.
Really? And if Jamal Williams isn't available, who would you go after otherwise?
Well, I would say someone like Chase Edmonds or Ty Johnson, but those were all picked up in the last couple of days on waiver wire. So, I know that Devin Singletary is an option. I know a lot of people dropped him when he was dealing with the hamstring injury and then coming back off a bye or coming back off the injury. He didn't get a whole lot of integration into the offense that first week. I think they were really trying to limit his touches. He only had 7 carries, 7 touches total in the game.
Right.
I think they were just trying to see how he would handle the workload of playing in the game. That being said, he has not been on the injury report at all this week, at all. So as of right now, I think that Devin Singletary is a guy that you could pick up again if he's available. To be kind of your next guy. I want to look at. I mean, he's 71% owned in Yahoo League, so I mean, it's not likely that he's going to be available. But there is a share of people that did drop him when he was dealing with the injury. So
let's talk about Josh Jacobs for a moment. According to Coach John Gruden, and I don't care about the questionable designation versus the Texans, and I know it's a legitimate shoulder injury, but do you think Jacobs will be at halfway decent capacity on Sunday?
I think that Jacobs should be okay. I know as of right now is questionable. This is another one of those instances where you just keep watching the practice reports for Thursday and Friday. I mean, going up against a Texans team that hasn't been great, really hasn't been great on defense at all. And we saw that especially this last week when Jacoby Brissett basically just kind of ran all over them. And so I think that it could be I think it'll be a pretty decent game overall for Jacobs. I think that he could still be effective in this game. Just saying, I'm pulling up Houston Texans so far. Okay, they have been a little tough against running backs, giving up the 25th most. So they're in the bottom 10 in terms of giving up fantasy points to the running back. That being said, they give up so much through the air, it may cause them to have to kind of sit back and allow Jacobs to run the ball up the middle a little bit.
So do you think he'll be a factor on Sunday?
I think he'll be a factor, yes.
Okay. And let's talk about Cam Newton and Nick Foles. You say maybe close to returning, and you're saying that deals a blow to those that have Kyle Allen, Gardner Minshew, and Teddy Bridgewater.
So we already talked about Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Brees, and this is going to be a little more for the people who are playing deeper fantasy leagues. I've got one. I play in a 16-team Superflex, which basically means everyone plays 2 quarterbacks. And so I picked up Gardner Minshew when Foles went down, and he has been very good for my team. I've got lucky that I got Ryan Tannehill after he took over for Marcus Mariota. In terms of those 3 guys, so Bridgewater, Minshew, and Kyle Allen, I think the most intriguing one obviously is going to be the Foles and Minshew one. Because of Foles, it looks like he'll be able to come back right around week 10, 9 or 10, is when they're actually aiming for him to be back, though he started practices already.
Right.
they're looking for him to come back around week 9 or 10. It'll be interesting because Minshew has played pretty well in this offense. He's been, for the most part, effective. He has had his issues with fumbling more than he has with throwing interceptions. And so I think that it's going to be a tough decision, I think, for the Jags offense. Do they actually have their quarterback of the future in Minshew, or do they keep going with the veteran that they paid? And it may come down to the paycheck. They may just stick with Foles, knowing that Minshew got the work, some of the work to really help him become a better quarterback. They may feel that Foles is the better quarterback to keep them going, to keep their winning ways going, moving on. So that one's going to be kind of a dicey dilemma. I as a Minshew owner, I am very nervous about Foles coming back. Moving on to the Kyle Allen and Cam Newton one. Cam Newton is a former MVP, but Kyle Allen has been able to actually complete 65% of his passes, which I want to say Cam Newton's only done like once, maybe twice in his career. And so the Panthers have done a little bit better job in terms of continuing to win games, where the Jags have kind of been sitting right around. What are they? 3 and 4 right now?
Yeah, they play the Jets.
3 and 4. So they've been doing all right. Where Kyle Allen, since he came in, they've won 4 games in a row, and then they're coming off a bye, and they've got a tough matchup this next week going into San Francisco. But Kyle Allen's won 4 in a row, and he's complete. He's had every single game he's thrown for over 220. Has not thrown an interception. Has thrown 7 touchdowns, no interceptions in 4 weeks. Basically, he's been the perfect game manager to keep them in games and let Christian McCaffrey do what he needs to do to win. And so I honestly think that they'll likely go back to Cam Newton. So for all those who have, I think they will eventually go back to Cam Newton. I think that they will wait until the last minute, to be honest, to activate him to make sure that he is fully and completely healthy. I think with him, that Kyle Allen has been good enough that they will continue to let him play until they know that Cam Newton is healthy, and then I think Cam Newton will come in and become the starter again. I don't think that they'll just stick with Kyle Allen no matter what. I think that Cam Newton is their guy, and that he will eventually come back to be the starter. But I think that they will milk as much recovery time as they can for Cam Newton before he starts playing again.
See, that's where we differ. I believe that they're going to ride Kyle Allen out as long as they possibly can. I really do believe that. If you're winning, you're 4-0, it's another story. Now, in the case of Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Brees, well, Teddy Bridgewater auditioned for a starting job for next year with somebody. And I know that Bridgewater will get a job as a starter next year with somebody. Kyle Allen's a different story. I think that if they feel like they can keep winning, let's not lose sight of the fact that Ron Rivera could be looking at his job. So you may be looking at Kyle Allen as the kind of guy that can kind of keep his job. Whereas on the other situation, I think the Jaguars will go to Foles, and then Minshew will have time. Of course, it'd be great if you can be at least at 500 or a game over 500 by the time Nick Foles comes back, when you consider the fact that at the beginning they weren't sure where this was going to go, and the Jaguars are still in the hunt for a playoff berth if Minshew can win some games when it didn't look that way earlier in the year.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at, look at the schedule for the Panthers. It could be that they keep Kyle. For me, I could see them keeping Kyle Allen in. Through October 27th, they play the 49ers at the 49ers. They play at home against Tennessee on November 3rd. The 10th, they're going to Green Bay. I could see them waiting until week 11 to bring Cam Newton back, because in that stretch they have Atlanta, then they go to New Orleans, home against Washington, at Atlanta, and then at home against Seattle, which that's a somewhat favorable set of games right there to really get Cam Newton's feet wet and back into the swing of things. But again, I can see where you're coming from in terms of them starting Kyle Allen.
And now with Jacksonville, I actually see Foles coming back in Week 11, not anytime sooner. I really do.
Yeah, and honestly, Week 11 has been the most suggested time that he would come back, which I think will be fine. And once getting into the fantasy aspect of this in terms of Foles, when he comes back, that's really going to help Westbrook. And I think it could hurt DJ Chark just a little bit because Westbrook and Foles had more of that connection, and Minshew and Chark had more of that connection, as second teamers. So I think that Westbrook will get more of a bump when Foles comes back. In terms of the offense for the Panthers, when and if Cam Newton comes back, honestly, I think that's probably going to help DJ Moore out, and could help McCaffrey as well. I think McCaffrey's just been so good. It didn't really matter whether it was Kyle Allen or Cam Newton.
Well, let's not lose sight of the fact that Foles is the one that threw that touchdown pass to DJ Chark too, before on the play that he got injured. So not all of those touchdowns came from the hands of Minshew, even especially the first one. But it's interesting. Foles is back practicing, so I'm sure I'll have more of an idea over the weekend after Candy and I go ahead and cover the game between the Jaguars and the Jets. So we're going to do something a little differently tonight, Ryan. Since we're ahead of the Thursday night game and we have some time to go over them, we're going to go over every game, and I want to get your opinion. We'll compare our opinions on every game. How does that sound? Okay?
Alrighty.
Washington at Minnesota. I guarantee you there won't be rain over in Minnesota this time. How bad is it going to be for the Redskins?
It's going to be ugly for the Redskins. I mean, their defense just plain struggles, and with how the Vikings have been getting things going in the passing game, along with the fact they have Dalvin Cook, who's been running the crap out of the ball, this is going to be another ugly one for the Redskins.
Well, I also think that Kirk Cousins might have a point to prove to the Redskins. It seems like that when you talk about the revenge tour, you had Kyle Shanahan beating the Redskins last week at the nation's capital, and Kirk Cousins would say, "You should have paid me. I'm glad you paid me a lot, but guess what? You're going to pay again." And I think that he runs it up against the Redskins as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Cousins really just takes it to the Redskins in this one.
All right, let's go back to my hometown, Motown, where the Giants and Daniel Jones take on Matt Stafford, the youngest guy to ever hit 40,000 yards. Do you think the Lions get back on track this week, despite the fact that Kerryon Johnson is not in the backfield?
I do. What helps is that the Giants have given up the fifth most amount of fantasy points to the running back position. They have a hard time stopping running backs, and so that could provide Ty Johnson and J.D. McKissic some ability to get loose. I think that the Lions will get back into this. Again, both teams struggle on defense against quarterbacks and running backs. What I think really helps the Lions is the fact that they do have better coverage against wide receivers and tight ends compared to what the Giants give up, especially in terms of fantasy points. So I think that the Lions will definitely get back on track here. I think that Stafford will throw well, and I think that Golladay has a bit of a bounce back game after everything basically went to Marvin Jones in the last game.
Okay, well, the game that Candy and I will be covering is the New York Jets against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Very interesting contest. Jaguars win, and they go to the 500 mark at 4-4. That's what they need to do. Do the Jaguars get to the 500 mark, Ryan?
I think with looking at how I understand they were going up against the Patriots, but with looking at how just inept the Jets looked in this game against the Patriots, I would like to think they could bounce back from that. But I don't know. I mean, the Jets really just struggled in general. Darnold looked completely lost in that game. And I think if the Jaguars can do even just a little bit of kind of, mixing coverages and that sort of thing, I think that they could do the same